the first of the month and the first since the coronavirus pandemic hit the U.S. We'll tell you what you need to know if you suddenly find yourself unable to make rent or pay your house payment because of the COVID-19 crisis.
Surging past 100, Kern County reports another record spike in cases. Well, we know about how those patients are doing coming up.
Nursing students leave the classroom to take their place on the front lines to help local patients. How they feel about learning on the job during a pandemic. This is Wednesday, April 1st, 2020. Good morning. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen here in studio with Alex Fisher. Hard to believe we're already April 1st, starting a new month.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a difficult month for everyone as we continue to stay at home and practice social distancing as we all try to grapple with this coronavirus. We'll get to everything that you need to know, but first we're taking a look at your forecast on this April 1st, and we have really been lucky over the last couple of days, Kev. The weather has been perfect, especially in the afternoon. It's been nice to go outside and kind of lay out in the sun and still not be too hot.
Yeah, yesterday was beautiful, Alex. Take a look. 73 degrees was our high for the day, so we were slightly above the normal of 71. Today we're going to be seeing temperatures right about the same in the lower 70s, so definitely another day where you can go out and enjoy yourself in the yard. We do have a little bit of cloud cover here on the west-facing slopes of the Tehachapi's, but other than that, we'll be looking at mostly sunny conditions throughout the day. We're currently at 54 degrees under a calm wind right now for Bakersfield, and as we take a look at the temperatures throughout the day, we will be rising into the mid-60s right around 1 o'clock and then lower 70s for this afternoon. Tehachapi, you sit at 46 right now. You do have a northwest wind at 16 miles per hour. One thing to note here, there is a wind advisory for the Kern County mountain locations and into the desert until 10 a.m. this morning. 96,000 people affected by this advisory, so just keep that in mind. A little bit blustery. And as we take a look at the temperatures throughout the day, you can see we'll be into the 50s, so nice and comfortable once again for all of Kern County. We're still tracking the chance of rain going into Sunday and Monday. We'll talk much more about that coming up in just a little bit. For now, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. Public Health announced yesterday 101 people have tested positive for COVID-19. That's 98 residents and 3 people who do not live here. We also know at least 7 cases led to people being hospitalized. That's 17 more cases since Public Health's update just yesterday morning. Just over 1,200 people are waiting for their test results. Nearly 1,800 tests have come back negative. And here's a look at the exponential growth in positive cases in Kern County. It took us 13 days to get to 51 total cases. We nearly doubled that over the past 2 days. Local public health officials have not said if anyone has recovered. Meantime, we still see most of those cases coming out of the western half of Kern County. There are 70 confirmed cases in the Bakersfield area. Meantime, the desert region has 3 new cases as of yesterday.
Local hospital officials are preparing for a surge in patients. They talked about what they've done so far yesterday in an empty county supervisor's chambers for the weekly meeting. 17's Aton
Wallace reports on what's being done to care for the sick and our doctors and nurses on the front lines.
No, this was not a closed meeting Tuesday. In fact, for the first time that we know of, members of the public were not allowed to join in person at the Board of Supervisors meeting due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Instead, members of the public joined the meeting virtually, except for top county department heads and hospital executives like Russell Judd of Kern Medical. He says local hospitals are preparing for possible surges of patients.
The most limited resource is ICU beds, so each of us have identified a way to grow ICU beds. Most of those will happen in the post-anesthesia care unit where we typically care for patients of this significant disease. Ventilators have been acquired, beds are being acquired, IV poles, IV pumps, all the necessary elements to handle this surge of patients.
At the meeting, members of the board unanimously ratified a county health emergency.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
It allows the county to issue orders to help control the disease, develop and implement plans to ensure there is access to medications and vaccinations, and it provides the county access to resources from the state and federal government.
It is our intent to try to fill every requests that we have.
Matt Constantine is the public health director. He says the health department has filled more than 100 resource requests from Kern County entities asking for personal protective equipment. Thus far, County Health has issued more than 100,000 N95 masks, more than 87,000 isolation masks, more than 13,000 gowns, roughly 10,000 bottles of hand sanitizers, and 2,000 goggles. But he warns County Health resources may not be around much longer.
It is our estimation that we have enough to last an additional 2 weeks. Beyond that, we exhaust our supplies locally.
Constantine says he's turned to the state for help with mixed results.
We have 6 resource requests that we've sent to the state asking for more supplies. We received a very small order yesterday. It is not planned out well. We don't know when orders come. We don't know how much they're shipping until it arrives.
He also said the county is preparing an alternative care site, or ACS, designed to house 250 to 1,000 symptomatic COVID cases or those who are COVID positive. Such a site would only be used in the event hospitals are unable to provide services due to overcapacity. Eitan Wallace, 17 News.
It is the first of the month, and that means rent and a lot of other bills are due today.
But what happens if you've been out of work because of the coronavirus and can't pay your bills? Well, you might be protected. On Friday, Governor Newsome gave California renters affected by the coronavirus pandemic 60 days to figure out how to pay rent. Newsome also signed an executive order banning all evictions through May 31st if the tenant is unable to pay rent due to the COVID-19 outbreak. And in Kern County, Supervisor Perez announced tenants should not worry about eviction. She emphasized the county will be closely following the governor's orders and no resources will be used toward evicting anyone at this time.
The Board of Supervisors would like to reiterate that we will follow the governor's orders and we will not force people out of their homes during this public health crisis.
If you can't pay your rent, let your landlord know in writing no more than 7 days after the rent is due. You'll also need to explain why and include verification that it is due to the COVID-19 crisis. The tenant also remains obligated to repay the full rent. Homeowners, meantime, can call their lenders and explain the situation and likely be granted a deferment, and those payments will be tacked onto the end of their loan.
Making news around the nation, staying put. President Trump says he probably won't leave the White House for 30 days as the coronavirus begins to peak.
Tracy Potts is in Washington this morning with the government's latest projections and new guidance on what we should be doing and for how long.
240,000. That's the new White House prediction of how many Americans could die from the coronavirus.
It's going to be a tough couple of weeks coming up.
Health experts believe we can literally flatten this curve and cut the death rate in half or less if Americans stop crowding places like beaches and bars.
Not only are you putting yourself in danger, but you're putting society in danger. Because as you get infected, you may be inadvertently and even innocently infecting others, particularly those who are vulnerable.
The federal government is leaving stay-home orders up to each state. So far, 32 states have them, covering 3 out of 4 Americans.
We know what works. What works is to stay home.
Social distancing, staying 6 feet apart, is now recommended for the rest of the month, and the CDC is rethinking whether everyone needs to wear a mask.
You can use a scarf. Scarf would be very good.
On Capitol Hill, lawmakers are preparing for a 4th coronavirus package. Democrats want to include money for the Postal Service for upcoming state primaries.
We'll probably be moving to vote by mail.
Across the country, hospitals are seeing the worst of it.
People packed in like sardines, 30 to 40 patients coughing on one another.
As America prepares for COVID-19 cases to soar. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
Welcome back. An Ohio woman is offering a message of hope to anyone in need right now.
She has cystic fibrosis and recently recovered from COVID-19. Angela Rayhard shares her story.
This is a miracle.
Meet Robin Petrus. She's a wife, mom, daughter, and friend. She's in her 50s, lives in Lancaster, and she's battled cystic fibrosis and diabetes for years. Within moments of talking to her, you can tell she's a fighter.
We don't know why or how I got through this with such ease, but I did.
A few weeks ago, Robin noticed she had a cough. It's not unusual for someone with cystic fibrosis.
I didn't think much of it because I felt fine.
Sure.
But then I was watching Dr. Acton and our governor on the news press conference.
And realized that wasn't her only symptom.
A dry cough, the low-grade temp, and a little fatigue. I immediately called my cystic fibrosis team.
This picture shows Robin waiting to be tested for COVID-19.
It took 5.5 days to get that test result back. And then I received a call from the ER department at Children's that I had a positive test.
When you got that phone call, what was going through your head?
So when I got the call, I was so shocked that it was positive. I couldn't speak for a few moments. I immediately called my CF team, and they started meeting to put the protocol into place as to what I needed to do to care for myself.
She shared her journey every step of the way on social media.
I was at first embarrassed, but yet knew that I wanted to be transparent.
Finally, sharing some good news.
I have no symptoms. I feel amazing.
Her story of recovery reaching thousands of people.
I do hope that it gives hope to people.
Robin, there are people out there, some people who don't think this is a big deal. Then you've got people who are extremely worried. What would you say to them?
The answer to that question is a both and. There is hope, but it is also imperative that we stay at home and follow the directions given by our officials and our medical people.
Exactly what she's been doing and will continue to do. She's going to stay home for at least the next 30 days or so. While many of us see this as a dark time, Robin sees the light.
And I'm so excited to fully live again.
COVID-19 is called the novel coronavirus because it's new. We know you have questions about this new virus, and unfortunately, there's a lot of false information circulating on social media. 17 News is committed to separating fact from fiction. So I spoke with Dr. Cothry to bust some myths surrounding this new virus.
COVID-19 is spreading fast. We know the virus is deadly, and cases are spiking. But claims are circulating online that simply aren't true. So now we're going through each claim and asking a local doctor if it's a myth or fact. Claim 1. Once you get the virus, you're cured.
Fact for the season. However, the virus can reoccur again, which it probably will next season, so that you can potentially get it back again.
Claim 2. Vaccines against pneumonia protect you from the virus.
Vaccines against pneumonia protect you against pneumonia. One of the things about coronavirus, it doesn't like sharing the body with other organisms, if you will. So you cannot have a bacterial pneumonia and coronavirus. So it will protect you from other bacterial infections, but it will not protect you from coronavirus at all.
Claim 3. Antibiotics can prevent or treat the virus.
Or there's some data out of France that using the Z-Pak in combination with another drug called Plaquenil, the hydroxyquinoline, seems to help reduce the viral shedding and the inflammation that is caused by coronavirus. However, just taken prophylactically does absolutely nothing.
Claim 4. Ibuprofen can make the virus worse.
Any anti-inflammatory seems to aggravate the course of the virus.
Claim 5. Ultraviolet lights are good enough to kill the virus.
I wish it was a fact, but unfortunately it is a myth as well. There's no data to support that.
Claim 6. The virus can last in the air for hours.
There is data that shows that the virus can sit in the air for up to 3 hours. We are now looking at that data closer.
Claim 7. You can get the virus and spread it without realizing.
You can actually get the virus and be completely asymptomatic for the first 2 weeks and still be shedding the virus. And then you may get a mild case of it, and it may seem like the cold.
Claim 8. A hot bath or shower prevents the virus.
Keeps you clean. Well, that's it. Yeah, the virus does not react to water temperature at all.
Claim 9. A change in the weather will slow the spread of coronavirus.
I believe fact. Most viruses tend to slow down when the weather gets warmer and the humidity levels go up. So hopefully as our weather gets warmer, this thing will slow down.
Claim 10, masks don't protect you from the virus.
Masks absolutely work, and that's what we use in the healthcare setting all the time. And there's different kinds of masks. We have what we call the N95 mask, which we use when we are doing certain procedures. We also have our regular procedural masks that we actually mask the patient as soon as we find someone that we're trying to rule out for coronavirus. And what that does is it protects us from the patient.